Hey, this is your girl Cynthia, and I'm one of the moms and Monties.
My name is Michelle, also known as Buenos Tiempos Flicas. And yeah, we're the moms
Moms
and
Monties.
Manies.
I own an 87 Monte Carlo known as La Puta Jasmine.
And I have a 1986 Monte Carlo, not named yet. Still
Unnamed.
working on it. um,
So how did we get started?
so how do we get started? I mean, we had Manies. We met and had Manies, so we, started.
Yeah. Shout out to Hoppet Boppy. He gave us the name. Well, he gave her the name, and then she kind of adopted me on Instagram with the hashtag moms and Monties.
We did. So what? Let's
Back it up. How did we meet?
Yes.
It's through Instagram.
Yeah.
First off, we met through Instagram. She was a photographer, so I think you took pictures of our cars.
I might have, yeah.
And then I think you tagged us in it, and I think we met in person for Frank's Hop.
Yeah, we did because I had ordered some shirts from you, so we kept texting back and forth, and that's how we
finally met.
So then we finally figured out that we both had Monte Carlos. That's where we started that whole moms and Monties thing. Before we did the super show.
Oh yeah, and then we did the super show together. So she rode in with me in the hot pit. We went into the hot pit together. That was fun. Yeah, my car didn't do that great, but it's all right.
But it was a good experience. It was fun. I think that was when we actually like met and like.
Yeah, we started hanging
friends.
out. Yeah. I'm like, hey, I'm on my way. I'm coming, and she's like, pick me up. I think we met in the back. Huh?
Yeah. But I think that's what that was like the one.
The one thing that brought
interaction
us
that we like had where we were like, okay, now we're friends.
Yeah. And then we found out we're both Sagittariuses.
Yeah. So and then that's when we started like hanging out, getting closer, whatever. That's when we started talking about the whole podcast thing, and coming together and doing something. And
we had to go with moms and Monties because I mean, it state the obvious.
Yeah. Well, where was I going with this? So then, I wanted just to kind of touch like why I wanted to do this. Like, I feel like I want to really bring out like
the moms in the culture right now. Because back in the day, women weren't really big in the culture back then. I mean, there were, but it wasn't as big as I think as it is now.
Right.
Like, there's a lot more women in the scene. There's a lot of women hopping now. Like, a lot of it wasn't back then.
Right. And I think I kind of wanted to, show that, there is a lot of women in the scene, whether it's like the wives, car owners, a lot of businesses.
Yeah, there's businesses.
And I feel like it's just, there's a lot of different angles, in which
women are taking over.
Yeah.
Not taking over. We're not taking over, but there's a lot more women in the scene.
Right. So
when did you get your car?
I got my car about a year and a half ago. Like I've told you, I wasn't looking for a Monty. It just so happened that way. I was looking for a Cutlass. I've always been into lowriders. I've just been around them. But I never actually had one. Being a photographer, I was always around them and whatever.
You're like, oh, I have to get
one.
So
I was like, yeah, I want to come in, and actually have a car. Originally, I was like, oh, I want to have a car so when I go to these events where I take pictures, I could bring my car along too, and kind of cool to do that. But that's where my money came from. And once I got it, I was like, oh, that's it. I love it.
Yeah, right. You just want to cruise in it all the time.
Yep. And it doesn't have any hydraulics or anything right now. And I don't know if I'm going to go that route, but I really just like to cruise. Yeah. But like yours.
Yeah, mine has ours came with hydraulics. So it was originally my husband's car, and then I took over because, I mean, what kind of man names his car Jasmine? I keep telling him. He claims that it was his car, but it was definitely always mine. But we built it together. It was something that we did together. We painted it. I mean, we didn't actually paint it, but like we picked the color. We did the designs together. Like everything, it was like a team like effort. So it was a totally different experience for us.
Right.
As a couple to go through all that. But it was fun. I mean, now I have the car. He has his own car. I have mine. So
yeah.
I love the hydraulics. I just don't like the way it drives, but I like the.
And I think that's something that I kind of wanted to like show us while like coming into the podcast, how we are women, obviously, you know, in a scene that's, you know, dominated by men.
Lots of men. My dad being one of them.
Exactly. And you know,
and it's different. And it's different for him too, because when I got my husband bought the lowrider. He was like, "Yeah, let's do this." Like, okay. And then after it became mine, I feel like it was different. Like he was like, "Oh, you can't cry in low riding, or you can't do this in low riding." Like it was different, like a different thing for girls. And I'm like, "Dad, whatever." And then my sister got a low rider, and I'm like, "Game over for you. This is a whole different." But it's crazy because I've seen a whole different side of him now. Like he's an OG from the whole lowrider scene. So for him to have a whole different side to him now, that his daughters are a part of the whole culture and stuff, like it's different, way different.
And you see him out there when we're out there.
I know he's all proud with his phone, with his little flip phone out. He loves it. We have a little brother. He's 14, I think he is, but he's still young. But he's not really into the whole lowrider scene. So I'm like, "Where are your sons, Dad? Like this is as good as it's gonna get. So either you take it or you leave it." But he likes it. He does. Yeah, he's so proud.
Yeah, I could tell we're out there sometimes at the event.
He's all recording with his little phone, his little blurry phone, but he's recording.
Love it. No, but that, like I said, that's one of the things I wanted to show, you know, coming into this. Also, like you're mentioning your dad, you know, he's, you know, been a big part of your car, building it, you know, putting it together. I want to show that as well. You know, we do have men out there that help us out, you know.
And support, yeah. That support. There's a lot of support from the men out there, which is amazing.
Yeah, and, you know, at the same time, that's like a little bit of a push for us to do it even more, you know, because they are supportive and they are doing, you know, helping us out with, you know, whatever, like
hydraulics, tires, anything
really.
Like literally our whole family. Like my dad does hydraulics, my cousin does tires, so anytime that we need something, they're just like a phone call away, and they're boom right there.
So that's pretty cool. Yeah, like I said, I wanted to show that because, like you said before, it was, you know, years ago, it was not like that.
Yeah, it wasn't.
And maybe like it wasn't as accepted as it is now, you know, and as embraced, I guess. Like I feel like I've gotten nothing but love, you know, from everybody, including, like I said, including the men out in the
and they love
scene.
to see it. They love to see it. Even when we went to California too, like they love to see the women out there because, like I said, and back in the day, it wasn't something that was normal. Right. And I feel like more and more that we're coming into it, it's more of a normal now, which is good. Like it should be a normal to have men and women in the scene.
Right. And there is a lot of girls out there.
Yeah, there is a lot. There's cars. More and more and more.
And
and one of them just won Woman of the Year from Arizona.
Right.
Pearl, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Pearl from Phoenix at his finest. I'm like, so that was, I have to, you know, say that was a big achievement, not only for her, but us as a state and women, you know, to come from Arizona. So I'm like, that was amazing.
Yeah. And it's cool that Lowrider magazine is actually doing like stuff like that, like Women of the Year. Yeah. I think last year was the first time that they did it.
Yeah. Because that Frank got nominated last year for what, I don't remember what he got.
He got the Lifetime Achievement.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. Yeah, and then so I that's the first time I ever saw it, like that they did a, you know, Women of the Year award, and I thought that was pretty cool.
So to come from AZ like that has to be like amazing feeling for her. You know what I mean? For her and for us as a whole. Like we should be supporting all the women out here. Just like we want the men to support us, we're gonna support them, and we want to support each other out here. So that has to be like amazing for her.
Yeah, I agree.
And us as women.
And hopefully we could get her on here one day.
I know, right?
I mean, like I said, that's one of the things I really want to like shine, you know, light on. The women that are actually like doing stuff, like you said, she got Woman of the Year. You know, there are other girls out there doing it too. So I want to be able to, you know, show that. You know, I don't think there's really a lot of that actually being shown. Like I said, Lowrider magazine is actually starting to do the Women of the Year. They had the magazine
that came out. That was awesome too. Yeah. Like they hadn't done Lowrider magazine for a while, and then to come out with an all women issue, like
for the very first one. Yeah, that was cool. I agree. And I mean, I don't know, like, I feel like I just want to be able to show, you know, that we are able to do it just like men are. And like I said, we do have the help of the man, but we essentially are the ones out here, you know, driving the cars and stuff. So, what got you into lowriders?
I think as a child, I was pretty much raised in it because my dad will tell you he's been doing this thing since I was in diapers. Probably before he was probably in diapers doing that, but I was just raised in it. Like it was just part of, I guess, our whole family. Like we have Easters now that are like car shows, family based, and everybody has a car. So I was just kind of raised in it, and then it was different because then my husband was like used to racing those Hondas and stuff. So when he bought a lowrider, I was like, this is different. Like I didn't think you'd ever buy a lowrider. So when he bought it, I think that's what brought us back into the scene again and closer to be able to build that car together.
Did you like it as a kid? Like,
I loved it. I loved it, and I used to model too, like way before my kids. I have 3 boys, by the way. So way before my boys, and then we started dating, and I think we just kind of got into that like whole honeymoon phase. So it kind of just, and he was into the Hondas and racing and all those low cars and stuff. So we never really went to anything. And so then when he bought a lowrider, I was like, where'd that come from? Like it was random. Like he never had went anywhere, did all that stuff. So when he bought one, it was kind of cool to be brought back into all that again and be able to cruise together. And then I think by then Jackson was popping and Glendale. And so it was all different from growing up being Central and Grand. And I'm trying to think what else, other places that they had. But what about you? That's
pretty cool. Well, I was a little bit different for me. I wasn't really raised, you know,
around it
in the scene. Like I've always been around lowriders. I'm from California. So, you know,
that's a lowrider state right there.
So, lowriders everywhere. My dad had a Regal, like I said, growing up. And like his cousins, his homies, they all had cars, you know. So I kind of grew up around it, not really like as rooted in the scene as, you know, obviously as you. Yeah. That but it always just caught my attention, and you know, I was always.
Just the details. They're beautiful.
Yeah, and we used to, like I said, my dad was really into them, so we used to build little model cars. So we would, you know, buy the models and, you know, put them all together, paint them, buy like
they have like rims and everything for them.
So that's something that we did together. You know, I did it with my dad. So it got me like into like getting to know the cars. Like, okay, this is an Impala.
This is what this is.
Yeah. So that's what really got me like really into it, I guess. Coming out here to Arizona, I didn't know anybody really, so I wasn't really like around people that had them or anything until I started coming out. You know, I was a photographer before, you know, before I got a car.
Yeah.
So I used to shoot a lot of people that actually were in the lowrider scene. So when I started doing photo shoots, talking to the people that I was, you know, taking pictures of, a lot of them had cars or would, you know, go out cruising and stuff. So they would always tell me,
I think that's how we met. Yeah.
How come you don't come out, take pictures, you know, of the cars? You know, there's a lot of stuff to take pictures of. So it caught my attention, started going to Glendale, started meeting people that way. And then, like I said, eventually got my car, but it was mostly photography that got me back into it, you know.
And it's a totally different feeling when you have your own car.
It is.
It's very different because I was a kid, you know, growing up in the backseat of my mom's car, and then to modeling in front of somebody else's car, to being a passenger princess in my husband's car, to now owning a car. Like those are 4 different, very different moments. Like totally different. When you have your own car and you're able to cruise and hit your own switches, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love being a passenger princess sometimes, but to be in your own car and just, you know, my boys in my seat, and it just brings me back memories to being in my mom's car, like that feeling that I had in my little car seat in the back. Like it's just a whole different feeling and memories that I want my boys to have.
Yeah, it's
like,
a different experience.
I don't have any daughters, so for my boys to have those same memories, like I want to make sure that I bring them to them, and I love it. It's just totally different.
Yeah. And I wanna say like another reason I really wanted to do this podcast too is because I feel like I want to keep this something I love, you know, something you love, and then it's obviously something that I want to be able to, you know, keep going, and obviously keep alive, you know, with our boys, because I have boys as well, and keep it as, you know, as genuine and
family oriented as possible. Like for me, like my husband has one and I have 2 cars and they're gone already. Like my boys are like, nope, when I graduate or when I have this, like your guys' cars are gone. And I'm like, I tell my husband, what are we going to do when they take our cars? Like, we're going to have any
Get
left.
another one.
I know. I told him we're going to have to get another one or something. Like they love it so much. Like when my dad hops, my little ones, oh my God, they're just like, hop it. They love it. And they don't understand. They think it's the coolest thing when the cars get stuck. And they don't understand, like, you know, that the person lost, and they're just like, wow, like it's up there, like pull it down. They get super excited.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
They love it.
Yeah, I recently posted that one video. I did your dad hopping and your son.
He's
you
like,
could hear him in the back.
Yeah, he's like,
so
it's
excited.
It's still hopping.
Yeah,
so I'm glad that they're into it and they love it like as much as I do.
Right.
And my husband too, as much as we do. And I know my dad like will probably skip us as daughters and like go right into his grandsons, like, because he doesn't have boys. He has one, but he doesn't have like a bunch of boys to enjoy this with. So I feel like he's just gonna kind of skip over me and be like, all right, I'm gonna take it up with your boys.
Yeah.
Call me when you take over your mom's cars.
And that's cool. My boys, they, like I said, they like it. You know, they like going. My oldest likes it the most.
Yeah.
But he's more into like the hopping.
Yeah.
So when I go out,
that's the exciting part.
Yeah. So when I'm out there, you know, doing my thing, you know, as a photographer and not a car owner, he just loves being in the hot pit.
Does he ever tell you he's gonna take your car when he's older?
Oh yeah, all the time. But he wants an El Camino, and I'm like, okay, you can have an El Camino. That's perfect because you can't take anybody in your car.
With
just you and your brother.
Oh, that's true.
It's a 2-seater.
Dang, that's right. Yeah, but then if he gets a girlfriend and kicks his brother out,
no,
not happening.
Not happening. No. But yeah, like I said, my boys enjoy it. You know, my youngest, he's not so much into it, but I feel like as he gets older, he might.
Will,
you know, my oldest, he's just into all kinds of cars, but like lowriders,
trucks, all that stuff. Yeah.
The drifting cars and everything. He loves any car really, but he wants an El Camino. That's what he really wants. I'm like, okay, get a job. Once you get a job, because it's not gonna be. It's, you know,
Junior, you only
hopping every.
Junior, mom said get a job. My junior can't get a job yet. He's only 10. I was gonna say mine can't either. He's only 10.
But I like that we're able to, you know, share with our boys, you know, and it's crazy to me because, you know, they're seeing it very different than like what I saw growing up, you know.
It's way different.
They see
they're boys, so it's like they're already like a step ahead of us, but I like it because, like I said, back then it wasn't like a lot of moms out there. Like my mom used to get her own, like do it too, but like not to like where the men did it. Like it wasn't, I would cruise with her, but it wasn't like, oh, she was in a car club or she did this or she hopped. Like it's so different. So for my sons to be able to see like us cruising and like me hitting switches, like it's just a whole different level for them to be able to see, like.
And it's so normal to them.
Yeah,
that's
and
what
it is.
That's what I was saying. Like they're growing up in such a different time that it's just normal to them.
So we just want to shout out all the women out in the lowrider scene now and in the future, because I know it's gonna keep going. So we want to give a shout out to all the women in the lowrider scene. Woo woo.
Yeah, and encourage them to keep doing
the damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
Get your daughters out there, because we don't have none. So get your daughters out there. Your friends, your sisters, your mom, all them out there.
Yeah, and just, you know, letting them know it gets hard sometimes, and you get discouraged sometimes, but just keep doing it, and eventually you'll get, you know, where you want to be with your car, or, you know, whatever you're doing, you know. I really want to like put that out there. Like, just keep going, just keep doing it, even if it gets discouraging or you think you can't learn it. I mean, you guys do it all the time.
Yeah.
You know, look up how to do certain things, and
TikTok it.
Yeah. So
I be TikToking how to do body work and how to do paint. I'm gonna get it one day though. I'm gonna get it.
Yeah. Just want to, put that out there, and then, like I said, encourage everybody.
Rome wasn't built in a day, and these cars don't get built in a day. Don't rush it either, because I felt like the first time that we did the car, we rushed it, and we had to paint it again. So don't rush it. Do it how you want it.
Yep. That's what
do your car exactly how you want it. Because I remember my dad was in my ear the whole time, like, do this, do this, do this. And I'm like, nope, I'm not listening. Because then you're not going to be happy with your car. Right. It's your car. You have to drive it. You have to cruise that shit around. Like, do it the way you want it, and you can picture it being your car.
Yeah, do what you love, how you're going to...
Do the color you want, just everything. And do it the way you want it. Because I know my sister did hers, and she was super mad that she had to paint it again. And the first color that she wanted. I'm like, why didn't you just go with that?
Yeah.
Like, so just do it.
That's why I'm like, I'm taking my time with mine. I don't know what I want to do, so I'm like, I'd rather just go, slow and steady than, go like you said, have to go back and
redo it again.
But I'm like, I kind of like block everyone out as far as to what to do with it, because I'm like, I want to do what I want to do with it. And
my dad still makes comments. He talks about my steering wheel. He talks about my paint.
The girly,
and it was so funny. And I tell him, like, Dad, I'm a girl. Like, it's different. He's like, no, we didn't do that back then. So he's always giving me shit all the time. Like,
I love it.
I'm like, okay, Dad, whatever, yeah. And it was funny because we painted it and I pinstriped it, and he was at the Guadalupe show. And I text him, and he was like, text me, send me a picture. And I'm like, no, you're just going to be a hater. Like, no, I'm not going to send it to you. So I went on Google, and I got one of those loading images.
Oh, my God,
and
no,
I sent
you
it,
didn't.
And I sent it to him, and he's like, I can't see it. It says it's still loading. It says it's still loading. So I sent him a picture of it, and he's like, oh, you have your dad's taste. I'm like, really?
Oh, my
God.
But
But I have white pinstriping, and not a lot of people do white pinstriping. So when he said that, he's like, people don't do that. I'm like, I don't care. I like it. That's what I like. That's what I wanted. So just definitely do it. Do it the color you want and the way you want it.
Do what you
love. It's your car, not what other people like.
Right. And you're always gonna hear people trying to tell you like what to do, how to do it, what not to do with it.
You should do this. You should do this. Yeah.
Always. Do it to your car.
Yeah. It's your car. You gotta drive it.
Right. I'm just like, do it to yours.
Yeah, right. You can
do it to your car. Do it when you get your car. When you
get the chance to do your car, right. So I'm Cynthia.
And Michelle.
And we're the Moms in Montes.
I just want to remind you guys, follow us on Instagram.
At Moms and Montes.
Yeah. And then on YouTube, it's the same thing, Moms and Montes.
And Roku and Amazon, on Network.
And
we're
on
out.
Facebook.
And we're out.